Hi guys, Ready Set RC back again today, and as you guys can see by the title of this video, today we have the Traxxas Unlimited Desert Racer in studio to do an unboxing. There's been a ton of unboxings on here. Just going to kind of do the overview of the box really quick and then just give you a quick review as to what this vehicle comes with, how this vehicle is, and then we'll go right to comparing this to a couple of the RCs that we already have within our collection. So as we can see here, guys, from the first side of the box, basically a graphics of the Traxxas Unlimited Desert Racer. From this point on, we're going to be calling it the UDR, basically telling you that it has the TQY controller. It's ready to race. This is considered pro scale, so it's not a true scale, but when we compare these to the couple of the other trucks that we have in our collection, you guys will get a true idea of what the size looks like. And once again, they're touting the 50 miles per hour plus on this vehicle. And as we can see on this side, guys, basically it's telling us that it's an integrated chassis. It's a fully tube chassis on here, innovative solid axle drive system. So what the UDR is actually touting is that it has planetary gears within there that basically stop the torque twist that you get on these solid rear axle vehicles, stating that it has a VXL 6S system similar to the system that's in the Traxxas eRevo VXL, also stating that the shocks is the GTR aluminum shocks, direct drive center differential, detail interior. That's basically just talking about the drivers and all of the scaleism that's on this vehicle. Exceptional scale details, as I just said before. When we take this out of the box, you guys will see everything that is on this vehicle that's scale. The long travel front suspension and the 4-link solid axle. On this side, guys, just another nice graphics of the truck without the shell on there. Beautiful little setup. We'll show you exactly what is needed to take the shell off, how you actually access the batteries, and if you want to do some gearing changes or any type of changes on the vehicle, we'll definitely be taking those parts apart so you can see what it looks like underneath. And on this side, again, guys, just another graphics of the truck. Beautiful setup. I mean, I can't wait to get this out of the box and really see what this truck looks like in person. On this side, guys, it's basically telling you the battery setup and what the speeds you can be expected to get based on those battery setups. So that's it, guys. Let's get the UDR out of the box. Let's see what this thing is all about, and let's do some size comparisons on this truck. So here we are, guys. The Traxxas UDR out of the box. As you guys can see from the box, I got the rigid model. So this is the Rigid Industries model. There is also a Fox edition. I chose to go with this one just simply for the fact that I just wanted something that looked a little bit different. There's been a lot of guys who have taken short course trucks or trophy trucks and have kind of done that Fox scheme to it, but there's not too many of them out there that I've seen that actually have the Rigid Industries paint scheme on it. So I felt like changing it up and getting the Rigid Industries one. But this thing looks amazing. As I said on my Instagram page, any of you guys that follow me on Instagram, I went to my local hobby shop, Willis Hobbies, which is where I also bought this Traxxas UDR. And I had checked out the truck when they got it. Surprising enough, they also got the Rigid Industries paint scheme on theirs too as well. And it was amazing. I mean, I really loved the truck. I had put down a down payment prior to that just based on the videos and everything that I saw, and I saw that it looked amazing. And then when I saw it in person, I was like, this definitely is an amazing truck that Traxxas is working out here. Just want to do a quick overview as to what this truck is all about, what's on this truck, and then we'll jump right into some size comparisons. As you guys know how I like to do on Ready Set RC is just do a quick size comparison. You get the TQY controller, as I was stating on the box, phone wheel, everything still is the same. This can be bounded up to your phone once you put the Bluetooth module in here. Funny enough, I'm looking at this controller and it looks like someone at some point had tampered with it, because on the back here, I'm looking at the label and the label's already torn to fit the Bluetooth module in here for the TQY controller. Doesn't matter to me. I'm looking to get rid of the controller anyway. I have enough of these, and this is the same affair as to all the other TQI controllers, so I will not be keeping this controller. Just moving on to the bag. Same affair once again. Traxxas stickers owner's manual. As you guys can see here, tools that are in here. And what I like in here also is they're providing you with the loop back for your battery. So if you plan on running one single 4S battery in here, I like that they do provide you with the loop back on here. This is great. But as I was saying, they provide you with the standard affair of tools and some foams to actually support the batteries in there. Now on to the truck, guys. First thing that I was checking out is how plush the suspension and the travel is on this. This thing feels really good. As you guys can see the amount of travel that's there, this thing is amazing. I can't wait to get this thing out and really test it out and see how it handles out there. I like to run on loose dirt, grass, as you guys know so well. I want to see how this thing goes off of jumps. Really want to see how this thing handles and how it's going to be able to handle the wear and tear that I put on my vehicles. I'm not a hardcore basher, but I do bash enough that it will break something. So let's see what the Traxxas UDR is going to give to us. So as we can see here, guys, a lot of scale bits on this truck. Functional spares on the rear, oil bottles, containers in the rear, extinguishers, working fans in here, a working drive shaft also in the back over here, sway bars going on in the rear, upper links are small, but they are metal. The travel arms are plastic. Dual shock system in the rear. Actually, dual shock system on all 4 areas. So there we are, guys, Traxxas UDR. I've already pre-removed the screws to get the shell off. With the shell, you do not need to remove the shell to access your battery or access the motor or servo. That is all handled from underneath. It is an inverted design. That is how you access your motor, your servo, and your batteries. What you would need to access from the top will be your radio box. Your radio box is located right here in the front. Once you remove the shell, the radio box is exposed to you for you able to access the radio box at that point. To remove the shell, there is 12 easy to remove screws, and I'll show you what one of the screws are. Hopefully that's coming up into focus. And there's 12 of these screws that you need to remove. Very simple, very easy. Once you remove the screws, then you do the simple pulling up of the rear. And as you guys have seen on several videos on YouTube, it's just a simple wiggle to one side. Get the front out first. Get the bottom off next. Pull it off, and it's out. That's simple, guys. Now, from what I'm looking at here, guys, very well engineered truck. I'm really liking what I'm looking at this here. As I said, radio box is right here. Very easy, very accessible. Nothing much more to take the shell off to do to get to your radio box. Looking at the Lexan for the driver is very thick, very thick plastic. There are fastened down by screws. Then we're looking at the body panels. If you want to run this without just shell, these are also very thick in here as well. Well engineered, well designed plan of how Traxxas did this. There's a lot of thought that went into building this truck. So now let's go underneath and let's show you guys how to remove that lower chassis plate to access the motor, the motor, servo, and the batteries. So one thing too, guys, I wanted to point out, and this is something that a lot of the guys I don't think have really captured this on their videos, and I want to capture this on ours, is that the battery connectors are back here, and hopefully that's coming up on the video. I tried to zoom in as much as possible to try to get a good view of this, and I'll probably try to take a picture of this too to kind of just show you guys as well. But the battery connectors are here in the rear, and if you have not seen this in person, what you will notice is that this battery tray cover is going to fit right over the battery connectors. Now, there's a good thing and a bad thing behind that. The good thing is that when you're out bashing, at least you know that your connectors are protected and everything is fine. The bad thing is, like myself and probably a lot of you out there, what you're going to find is that if you don't run the Traxxas ID batteries or the Traxxas style connectors, you're going to be running an adapter. Depending on the adapter that you're running, if you run the ones with no wires, that is not going to work on here, because the ones with no wires extend a little bit further out, and it's not going to be able to fit with this battery tray cover on here. So you'll have to run, if you are going to do it, you're going to have to run these with the ones with the wires, and then kind of bundle your wires up in there, because it's going to be a little bit extra length. But you're going to have to try to bundle your wires up in here to fit those type of connectors. But I just wanted you guys to know that if you run the connectors on here, like a lot of us do, the adapters on here, what you're going to find is that once you run those adapters, and if you run the ones with no wires, you're going to have a hard time fitting that in here, or an impossible time, let me put it that way, an impossible time to fit those in here with that. I know a lot of guys are like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to run adapters, but a lot of us do. And the reason why we do is because we have conformed to one battery and we're not looking to switch them out. So that's what I noticed on here, guys, is that you're gonna notice that if you run the adapters, you're gonna have a hard time putting them in here. But if you run the adapters with the wire, I don't think you're going to have a problem. I'm going to try that out, and I'll let you guys know that when I do the run video, how it went for me. But I'm going to try the ones with the wires. I do have a set of those, and see how those fit, and I'll report back to you guys. So let's continue on with the video, guys. So all right, guys, here we are, chassis, and I just want to sit back and marvel at a couple of things here. We have the lower trail arms right here, nice and beefy for the UDR. We also have the rear drive shaft. I don't know if you guys are picking this up, but there's also the access to the ESC back here. The only thing that I am concerned with is that at this point it's clearly open, and with dirt and muck and everything, depending on the conditions that you drive in, all of that flying in here, really want to see how this vehicle is going to be able to get clean, because I like my vehicles to do a thorough cleaning after I've done a bash with it. So I'm really going to see how well this vehicle gets cleaned afterwards, but it looks like there's a lot of nooks and crannies that a lot of dirt and muck will get mixed in there. So I'm just going to see how that works afterwards. Also, we have here is the planetary gears, the housing for the planetary gears with the rear axle. I mean, I really do like a lot of the things that I'm seeing here. Very scale looking underneath here, guys. I really do like what I'm seeing. The lower support arms, nice and smooth out over here. Everything seems to be just well finished out, and everything that you would expect from Traxxas. So let's get this lower chassis plate off. Let's see what it is and what it takes. Just to go over really quickly, guys, too, there's 8 screws that need to be removed to get the lower chassis plate. Not hard, not a lot. And then from that point, what you want to do is you want to take the battery tray off. And then that comes off that simple, guys. Very simple. And then for what we have exposed here now, we have the servo, the 2200 kV motor. You would need to remove this plate to go ahead and set your mesh, but it should be very simple, straightforward. And then as you can see, guys, here, you also have access to the rear drive shaft as well. Very well engineered here, guys. I really do like what I'm seeing. There's a lot of revolutionary things that are done under here, and it's just well done by Traxxas. So let's get this all buttoned up, guys. Let's get this thing back on the table and let's do some comparisons. And here we are, guys. Just got them on top so you guys can get another idea of the size, and you can clearly see there is a size difference between the two trucks. As I said, this is a 1/8 scale short course truck. This we are now just, rather than Traxxas basically stating that this is pro scale, for the RC community, we now can tell that this is clearly a 1/7 scale. Let me bring a couple more trucks out, guys, so you guys can see the size difference between them, and then let's wrap up this video. All right, guys, here we are. We got a true 1/10 scale trophy truck here to compare against the Traxxas UDR trophy truck. Once again, as you guys can clearly see that these two trucks, there is a tremendous difference in size. I don't think I'm going to put them both front to front. As you can clearly see between the two trucks, there is clearly a size difference. I don't think we're going to really get that much out of putting them to the fronts together, because you're going to clearly see that the 1/10 scale trophy truck of the Losi Baja Rey is clearly a smaller truck. I think this gives you a better idea as to what the size looks like between the two, and you can clearly see that it is not anywhere close to the 1/10 scale Losi Baja Rey. Let's pull out one more truck, guys, and let's see what these things really match up to in size. Probably going to be the last comparisons, guys, and please, I apologize for it being dirty. I've still not cleaned it up since that last run and where we broke the upper link support mount on this truck. We have gotten the part in, I just haven't had the time to put in and do the repairs on this truck. Got a long list of vehicles I'm working on at this time, and this is in the pecking order. So as you guys can see here, there is a width difference. Clearly, there is a width difference between the two trucks. There is a size difference between the two trucks. This is a 1/6 scale trophy truck. It is 40% larger than the 1/10 scale Baja Rey that I pulled out recently. You guys can see from what we have here that this is clearly a bigger trophy truck. From my first initial drivings of this truck, it handles amazingly well. Cannot wait to see how the UDR is going to perform, but this has definitely set pretty high standards for me in regards to these large-scale trophy trucks. I'll be honest with you, the Baja Rey in itself set pretty high standards for me in regards to how it performs and how it handles. Super Baja Rey fell in line along with the Baja Rey. Really have high standards for the UDR and seeing how it performs. All right, guys, here we are. We have the UDR on top of the Super Baja Rey, UDR and SBR. As you guys can see here, that the length is there is some difference in the length. Would I say it's dramatic? Probably not. And that's only because you have these bits here. But if you look at the tires, and I'm trying to line this up where this stays about exactly right, and that's about as close as having the axles here as close as even as possible. You can see just by looking at the wheelbase that there is some difference, a significant amount of difference. As I was saying before, this is a 1/6 scale trophy truck. This is a 1/7 scale trophy truck. You guys can clearly see the difference here. I compared this truck with a 1/8 scale and a 1/10 scale just so you guys see the lower and the next higher size up, and there is clearly a size difference between 1/8 scale, 1/10 scale, and now the 1/6 scale SBR. So that's it, guys. First impressions, first looks at the Traxxas UDR, first comparisons to some of the other trucks in our garage. Nice truck, guys. I really do enjoy the scaleism of this truck, the way it looks, the way it's set up. It's just a beautiful looking truck. Just want to see how this truck is going to perform out in the dirt, out on some jumps, just to see how it handles. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram for our latest posts to our channel. This is Ready Set RC, signing out. Thanks again, guys.